Ever feel like just tossing your resume into a black hole?
Yeah, today's job market. It's like trying to solve a puzzle, but you don't have all the pieces.
It can definitely feel that way.
Right. But what if I told you there's this platform? It's like it's designed to make that whole job search thing way less of a pain.
Oh, there are definitely tools out there that can help.
We're talking about RoleCatcher today. And get this, it's all about understanding the rules of the job search game.
That's key.
Right. Not just like making your resume look pretty.
Exactly. It's about going beyond just the surface.
So where do we even start with this whole thing?
Well, I think the first thing people need to realize is how much of that initial screening process, when you first apply for a job, it's done by AI.
Really? Like
Yeah.
robots are reading my resume.
Pretty much. It's those applicant tracking systems, or ATS, that everyone's talking about. They're basically algorithms designed to weed out applications that don't meet certain criteria.
Okay, that makes sense, but how do I make sure my resume gets past those robot gatekeepers? That's where RoleCatcher comes in. They actually give you insights into how these systems work.
So it's like getting a sneak peek behind the curtain.
Exactly. RoleCatcher emphasizes beating the automated recruiter, which sounds kind of intense.
It does.
But really, it's about understanding the system. Like, did you know a lot of these AI systems, they use scoring to filter applicants?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and usually that's totally hidden from us, job seekers, right?
Mhm.
But RoleCatcher actually reveals how those scoring systems work.
That is so cool. So it's like leveling the playing field a little bit.
Exactly, because once you understand what the AI is looking for, you can adjust your approach.
Okay, I'm seeing the value here. So instead of it being this mysterious black box, you're actually getting some transparency.
Precisely.
Mhm.
Transparency and a bit of control, which can make all the difference when you're feeling lost in the job search abyss. Let's say you're going for a marketing role, right?
Right.
RoleCatcher might point out that keywords like SEO or analytics are super important in your field.
Yeah, makes sense. Buzzwords. Everyone loves a good buzzword.
Well, it's not just about buzzwords. It's about speaking the AI's language. So you tweak your resume, emphasize those skills, and boom, your chances of getting noticed go up.
It's like you're talking directly to the robot recruiter.
In a way, yeah. But it's about showcasing your qualifications in a way that both the AI and ultimately the human recruiter can understand.
Because at the end of the day, a real person is going to be making the final decision, right?
Hopefully. But look, even if a recruiter glances at your resume, they're often just doing a quick scan, looking for those keywords, those highlights. So making sure your resume is AI friendly, it's crucial.
Okay, so we've tackled the AI hurdle, but what about the actual job hunt itself? I don't know about you, but my browser is always bursting with tabs when I'm on the job hunt.
Tell me about it.
It's overwhelming, right? You're on LinkedIn, then you're on Indeed, then company websites.
And don't even get me started on those job boards that require you to create a whole new profile for each application. It's like they don't value my time at all.
It's a lot, right? But RoleCatcher, they've got a solution for that too.
They do. They have this really cool tool called the RoleCatcher.capture plugin. It basically lets you save job postings from anywhere on the internet.
Wait, seriously, from anywhere?
Yep. LinkedIn, company websites, even those niche job boards.
So no more bookmarking a million pages or emailing links to myself.
Exactly. You just hit that RoleCatcher.capture button, and it swoops that job posting into your RoleCatcher dashboard.
Like magic.
Right. So everything's organized in one place.
Oh, that speaks to my organizational obsessed heart. So it's like having a central hub for all things job searching.
Exactly. It just streamlines the whole process, which, let's face it, can feel like a part-time job in itself sometimes.
No kidding. So let's talk resumes. I'm curious about RoleCatcher's approach to this because, let's be real, the resume game, it's constantly changing.
It really is. But RoleCatcher's Resume Builder, it's not just some generic template filler.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It actually analyzes the job descriptions you've saved with that plugin we talked about.
Right, the RoleCatcher capture thing.
Yes. And it tells you if you're missing any key skills.
Wait, so it's like having a personal resume critic, but like a super smart one?
Kind of. Say you're applying for a project manager role, and they're all about agile methodologies these days.
Which, side note, who came up with that term? Agile.
Don't even get me started. But anyway, RoleCatcher will be like, hey, your resume, it's missing some agile love.
That's amazing. It's like it's reading between the lines of the job description.
Right. And then you can tweak your resume, highlight those skills, and boom, you're speaking their language.
The AI's language and hopefully the hiring manager's language too.
Exactly. And here's what's really cool. They've designed this to work across a ton of different fields. Like they even have a guide for a crosscut saw operator.
A crosscut saw operator. I mean, talk about niche, but I love that. It shows they're not just catering to, like, the tech industry or whatever.
It's about making those tools accessible to everyone. Okay, so you've nailed the application. Your resume is a masterpiece thanks to RoleCatcher,
Yeah.
and you've landed an interview. What now?
Oh, don't even get me started on interviews. That's a whole other beast. Thankfully, it sounds like RoleCatcher has our backs in the interview department, too.
You totally do. So imagine this. You're facing like a panel of interviewers, right? And they're throwing all these super specific questions at you.
Oh my gosh, the worst.
The worst. And you're trying to remember, like, what's the STAR method again? And did I use enough action verbs in my answer?
And hoping you don't accidentally blurt out something totally off topic. Been there.
Right. So RoleCatcher. They've got this tool, right? It helps you prepare for those nightmare scenarios.
Okay, now we're talking. My palms are already getting sweaty just thinking about interviews. So tell me, how does RoleCatcher make this whole thing less terrifying?
Well, first of all, they have this massive, and I mean massive, database of interview questions.
Okay, that's cool and all, but can I just Google, like, common interview questions and get the same thing?
Yeah, but here's the thing. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill generic questions. They've got like over 120,000 questions, and they're tailored to specific careers and skills.
Okay, so instead of just getting, tell me about a time you failed, I'm getting questions that are actually relevant to my field.
Exactly. So if you're, say, a software developer, you're going to get hit with questions about algorithms, coding languages, all that jazz.
It's like they've got a crystal ball that sees into the future of my interview.
And get this, it gets even better. They have this AI-powered practice tool. So you can actually record yourself answering these hyper-specific questions and then play it back.
Wait, hold on. I can, like, hear myself rambling and saying, a million times.
Exactly. But it's not just about catching your verbal quirks. Their AI actually analyzes your answers and gives you feedback.
No way. Seriously, like, what kind of feedback are we talking about?
So it can pick up on things like, are you using too many filler words? Is your tone, projecting confidence? Are you, like, actually answering the question?
It's like having an interview coach in my back pocket.
I know, right? And speaking of coaches, they also offer these AI-tailored answers.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. So it's like giving me the cheat codes to the interview game.
Not exactly cheat codes, but it's like having a secret weapon. Basically, they provide you with these sample answers that are crafted for the specific job you're going for.
So it's not just a generic response. It's tailored to that exact job description.
Exactly. And it takes into account those keywords, those skills that we were talking about earlier. It's all about presenting yourself as the ideal candidate for that specific role.
This is next level stuff. I mean, it's not just about acing the interview. It's about finding a job, a career that you're actually, like, jazzed about.
Yeah.
One that uses your skills and all that.
100%. And that's actually something else I wanted to touch on because RoleCatcher really impressed me with their career guides.
Oh, yeah. I was meaning to ask about those. I, like, secretly love a good career guide. What makes theirs so special?
Well, remember how we talked about the Crosscut Saw Operator guide earlier? That's just one example of how detailed they get. They have these comprehensive guides for literally thousands of careers.
No way.
And they don't just tell you what the job is. They break down the entire career path.
Oh, that's smart. So you can see, like, the potential trajectory, what skills you need to develop along the way, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's like having a roadmap for your career. So if you're thinking, okay, I want to be a data scientist, but you're not sure what steps to take, RoleCatcher's got you covered.
It's like they've done all the research for you.
Right. And beyond the career guides, they've also got this massive database of employers.
Yeah, I think I saw something about that on their website, something like 9 million records.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
It's basically like having the entire job market at your fingertips.
Yeah.
But the best part, they don't just give you a list of company names and, like, their contact info.
Because that would be super helpful.
I know, right? But seriously, they provide actual insights into each employer.
Oh, juicy. Like what? Spill the tea.
Okay, so think company culture, values, even their hiring practices.
Wait, are they spying on these companies or something?
Not exactly spying, but they gather information from all these sources, public data, employee reviews, you name it. So you can get a real sense of what it's actually like to work at a particular company.
Okay, that is super valuable because let's be real, those Glassdoor reviews, they can be a mixed bag.
Totally. And sometimes you're relying on word of mouth, which isn't always reliable.
Exactly. Like my friend's cousin's roommate told me this horror story about working at this one place, but that was like 5 years ago. Who knows what it's like now?
Exactly. But with RoleCatcher, you get a more well-rounded perspective. And I think that's especially important these days because it's not just about finding a job anymore.
No, absolutely not. People want to work for companies that, align with their values. They want good work-life balance. They want to feel like they're making a difference.
Right. It's about finding a place where you can thrive, not just survive.
Preach. Okay, so you've had the chance to really dig deep into RoleCatcher. What's your overall take on it? What's like the one big takeaway you'd give our listeners?
You know, it's funny because when I first heard about RoleCatcher, I thought, oh, another job search platform. But honestly, digging into it, it's so much more than that. They seem to really get that the job search, it's not just about algorithms and keywords. It's about like human beings trying to find their place in the world.
It's so true. It's such a personal journey.
And it can be such an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, tell me about it. The highs and lows are intense.
One minute, you're like on top of the world because you got a call back, and the next, you're like convinced you'll never find a job.
And that waiting game, it's brutal.
The worst. And I think that's where RoleCatcher really shines, not just with the practical tools, but with the emotional support they provide. It might sound silly,
Not at all.
but having all your applications, your research, your practice stuff, all organized in one place, it can be so grounding when everything else feels chaotic.
Totally. It's like instead of the job search being this big, scary monster, RoleCatcher helps you break it down into manageable steps.
Exactly. And those little wins along the way, like, okay, I optimized my resume, or I nailed that practice interview question.
Yeah.
Those can make all the difference.
It's about building confidence, right?
Absolutely. And I think that comes through in everything RoleCatcher does, whether it's the AI feedback or the detailed career guides. It's like they're saying, hey, we've got your back. You've got this.
It's like having a cheerleader in your corner, but like a really smart cheerleader who actually knows the job market inside and out.
The best kind of cheerleader.
Wow.
But look, at the end of the day, RoleCatcher is just a tool, right?
Right.
It's up to each individual to take those tools and use them to craft the career and the life that they want.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's a wrap on another deep dive. We've covered a ton of ground today, from the power of AI to the importance of self-awareness and, of course, the amazing tools that RoleCatcher has to offer. But now it's your turn. Head over to RoleCatcher, check out their platform, and let us know what you think. We'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Until next time.